In the second rate-related real-world context that we will be covering is on hire purchase. So to understand what hire purchase mean, I will use an example to illustrate it. So take for example that there is this new phone model that just launched and it costs $1,166 and you want to purchase it. However, you don't have enough money to pay for it in full at one go. What is good is that this store that you go to actually offers the option of hire purchase. And how hire purchase actually works is that you can pay part of the purchase price first, and that is what we call the down payment or the deposit. So in this particular example, the storekeeper says that you can pay 30% of the price first. So that is the down payment or the deposit amount. It varies shop to shop, so it really depends on the question that we're given and the context itself. Of course, you need to pay the remaining amount. The remaining amount is then paid in monthly installments, and the monthly installments come with interest as well. So you can't just be telling the shopkeeper that, hey, I'm going to pay you for over the period of 24 months or 2 years. Okay, and then there's no benefit to the storekeeper at all, right? The storekeeper has to wait 2 years in order to collect all the money back. I think that's a little bit unfair for the storekeeper, isn't it? So therefore, the storekeeper would actually charge an interest amount for the wait that you kept him waiting. Okay, so how do we actually go about solving this question, this example? So the installment is actually paid over 2 years, and there is a simple interest rate of 10% per annum. So we want to find out how much in total will you have to pay for the phone. So what we first do is to find out what is the deposit amount, and that is 30% of the original $1,166. That will be $349.80. Then we find the remaining amount that needs to be paid, which is 1166 minus 349.80, and that will give us $816.20. Of course, you could skip the deposit step if you realize that the remaining amount is none other than 70% of the 1,166. You will still get $816.20. Then we find out what is the interest amount, which is to take the remaining amount, which is actually the so-called principal, times the interest rate, which is 10%, and then times 2 years because it is to be paid over 2 years, and then we will get $163.24. Okay, so this is the interest amount. So in totality, at the end of the day, at the end of 2 years, how much money will you have to pay for the phone? That will be the original price, 1166, and the interest amount of 163.24. Adding them up together, we will get $1,329.24. So this final amount that you will be paying at the end, okay, despite doing your installment basis and all that, that is what we call the hire purchase price as well. Okay, I hope that this example helps you to understand what hire purchase actually means. It means that you are breaking down the payment into two parts essentially. One is the down payment or deposit part, and then the remaining to be in installments. The installments need not always be in monthly installments. Some people might want to do day installments, which is a little bit rare, and then there are also year installments as well, okay, or even weekly installments. It really depends on what is the preferred mode by the shopkeeper or whoever that you are owing money to. Now that we have understood what hire purchase means, let's take a look at another example to try to apply our learning. So in this question, it says that an air conditioner is priced at $900. Nadia buys the air conditioner on hire purchase with these terms: a down payment of 20% and the remaining to be paid in monthly installments over 4 years at a simple interest rate of 10% per annum. In part I, we want to find her monthly installment. So that is the objective, to find the monthly installment. Going back to the question itself, we try to identify what are the important information that will help us to find out this monthly installment. So the very crucial thing is that the air conditioner is priced at $900, and that is the selling price. Then we have the conditions for the hire purchase, that is the down payment of 20% and the remaining to be paid in monthly installments over 4 years and a simple interest rate of 10% per annum. I will usually try to summarize the information that has been given to me on a separate note-taking or a separate information consolidation diagram, if I were to put a name to it. Okay, so I have this $900 that I need to pay for the air conditioner, but unfortunately, okay, Nadia doesn't have enough money to actually pay for it. So it needs to be separated into two parts, okay, two main parts, the down payment and then the monthly installments. Okay, so for the deposit, there's 20% and the monthly installment over 4 years with a 10% per annum interest. So I usually like to have such a diagram so that I don't need to actually look through all the words again to find the critical information. So I just need to look at this summary over here. So what we need to do to find the monthly installment is to first understand what is the deposit so that I can know what is the remaining amount, because these monthly installments depend on the remaining amount. Okay, there are two ways that you can go about doing this. Either you recognize that the remaining amount is 80% because 100% minus 20% of your $900. Okay, otherwise you can find the deposit first, like what I did over here, which is 20% of your $900, whereby we get $180, such that the remaining amount will be 900 minus 180, and we get $720. So all these monthly installments over here, they will add up to at least $720. Now, why do I say at least? It is because there is this interest that I need to pay. So I need to calculate the interest by applying my simple interest formula, that is principal times rate times time. So the principal is $720 because that's the remaining amount, times a total of 10%, okay, that's the interest rate, and over 4 years as given in the question. That sums up to become $288. So therefore, the total installments that needs to be paid will be the remaining amount, $720, plus the interest, $288. And that would actually give us $1,008. But that is not all, because the question wants us to find monthly installment, not the total installment. So we need to take $1,008, divide by the total number of months that the payment is going to made over. So the payment is going to be made over 4 years, and because it is a monthly installment, I need to find the number of months, which is 4 times 12. And therefore, the monthly installments will be $1,008 divided by 4 times 12. And therefore, we get $21. Hence, the monthly installment is equals to $21. I hope you're able to understand what I did over here, okay, in terms of solving for part I. Alright, I'll pause for a few seconds for you to copy, just in case you need to do that. Alright, let's move on to part 2. So in part 2, we want to find the total amount that Nadia pays for the air conditioner. So earlier on, when I shared with you what hire purchase actually means, I mentioned that when we buy something at hire purchase, usually we will need to pay the interest amount on top of the selling price. And therefore, earlier on in part I, we have already found this additional amount, which is the interest amount, and that is $288. So this will be paid on top of the $900. Hence, to find our answer to part 2, the total amount to be paid, that will be to take $900 plus $288, and we will get $1,188. So there's no need for you to go through very long calculations. Okay, we just need to know that the total amount payable will be the selling price plus the interest amount. Now, this amount, other than being called total amount payable, it is also called the hire purchase price. You need to be able to recognize this term because there are times whereby the question uses these words, hire purchase price, instead of total amount payable. Moving on to part 3, the question asks how much more does she have to pay. So actually in part 2 and part I, we have already been making use of the answer or found the answer already. So higher purchase price is usually more expensive, okay, than the original selling price, and that is due to the interest itself. So therefore, the additional amount that she has to pay, okay, is actually $288, and that is the interest amount. Okay, I hope that you understand the explanation for this example before we move on to the next one. Let's now take a look at the second example on hire purchase. So in this question, we are given that the price of a sofa is X dollars. A man buys the sofa on hire purchase with these terms: a down payment of 25% and the remaining to be paid in monthly installment over 30 months at a simple interest rate of 12% per annum. Given that his monthly installment is $52, we want to find the value of X. So the objective in this question is to find the value of X. Let us identify the important information. Firstly, the selling price of the sofa is X dollars, and the hire purchase terms is such that the first part for the down payment is 25%, and the remaining will be monthly installments over 30 months. And then the simple interest rate is 12% per annum. So, and very lastly, given that his monthly installment is $52. Sorry about that pause. Okay, so let's summarize this information in our usual diagram, okay, or rather my usual diagram. So having X dollars for the selling price, we divide it into two parts: the deposit, which is 25%, and the monthly installments, which we already know that is $52. Okay, these monthly installments are going to be paid over 30 months. So there will be total of 30 months of $52. And then, okay, these monthly installments include an interest of 12% per annum. Right? So this $52 already has the interest amount inside it. So that's an important thing to take note of. So how do we go about finding out what is the value of X? Okay, so since we know the deposit amount, which is 25%, or rather we know that the deposit is 25%, we can go ahead and find out 25% of X and express it into an expression, which is 0.25X. Because 25 divided by 100 as a decimal is 0.25. Then this means that the remaining amount will be X minus away 0.25X equals to 0.75X. Again, to find the expression for remaining amount, you could always take 75% times X. You will still get the same expression here. So what this says is that the remaining amount inside here with the interest will be 0.75X plus interest to get this 52 times 30 months. Okay, so the interest is equals to our usual formula, PRT over 100. So that will be to take the remaining amount times 12, because the interest rate is 12%, and times the number of years. Okay, why is it that we cannot take T equals to 30? Because the interest rate, 12%, is per annum. So that means it is counted per year. So therefore, we need to change the 30 months into number of years. That's why 30 over 12 is taken over here, which is a conversion from months to years. Then we will get 0.225x. In case you're wondering, how did I get 0.225x? That is, I use my calculator, I ignore the x, I press everything else into my calculator, and I will be able to get a decimal of 0.225, and not forgetting to put back the x, because in my calculator I can't key in the x value since x is unknown. Okay, so now moving on. Earlier on I mentioned the remaining amount plus the interest is actually the total of the monthly installments. So the total installment amount is actually $52 times 30 months, right? Which is $1,560. So this 1,560 should be equals to 0.75x plus 0.225x. Therefore, I can form an equation of 0.75x plus 0.225x equals to 1,560. Then we proceed to solve our usual linear equation, we will get 0.975x on the left side when we add on the like terms, and then we can divide 0.975 over to the right hand side and we will get x equals to 1,600. And therefore, we have found the price of the sofa, which is $1,600. I hope that you could follow with this example over here and understand how we go about solving it, because it is not your usual conventional one, whereby in this case we are supposed to work in reverse rather than given the selling price and then work forward.